morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Dave Elberson, the president and CEO of SCI Floor Covering. Dave, how you doing?
Good, Kemp. Hey, thanks for having me on.
Well, I wanted to catch up with you. It was early last week that we learned that SCI had acquired Flooring Partners. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, a little background on you, Dave. You've been in the flooring business for a while. Early 1990s, you were with Shaw. You were with the Philadelphia Group for a little while, and then over to Shaw Contract. How long have you been at SCI Floor Covering?
Actually, I became part of a company called Commercial Carpet Corporation, which was in Michigan. We combined with a company named Spartan Floor Covering in Michigan, and that's where the SCI came from. And that was in 2001. So it has been about 25 years with SCI.
And you're a full-service provider of soft and hard surface floor covering, and you service mostly the multifamily business, but also some single-family property managers and builders, right?
And we also have a commercial division, Kemp. Commercial is the second largest segment of what we do, with multifamily being the largest.
All right. So geographically, you're under the name of SCI Floor Covering in Detroit area, and then MC Flooring in Kansas City area, and East Point Interiors in Grand Rapids, and United Carpet in St. Louis, and Carpetbaggers in the Indianapolis area. Is that right?
That is correct. And we've also got United Carpet in Chicago.
All right. And Flooring Partners is basically a geographical expansion because it gets you over toward the East Coast some, right?
That is correct. Yep. It gets us into the state of Ohio, which is a great contiguous geography for us. And then it does stretch our ability to service over to the East Coast in Baltimore and in New Jersey. And really beneficial, too, from the standpoint that it gives access to the port of Baltimore. So really exciting about the expansion and the access to the port. As you may or may not know, it's a little hard to import things into the Great Lakes. There's just a pretty good expense there that's hard to overcome.
All right. So all this is kind of being tied together with financing with a private equity firm called Rainier, right?
That is correct. Rainier is based in Seattle. They invested in the company in 2023. And since their investment, we made the acquisition of United Carpet, which was St. Louis and Chicago, the acquisition of Carpetbaggers, which was Indianapolis, and then, of course, our newest acquisition, Flooring Partners, which covers Baltimore, New Jersey, and around the Cleveland-Akron area.
So if your total revenue is a piece of pie, give me some percentages.
Multifamily is the biggest piece of the pie. It's roughly about 60, with Flooring Partners now probably up to 65%. Commercial is another 20%. And then the remaining portion is made up of single family and a little bit of insurance restoration and some retail here and there.
And you're part of the FEI group, which makes sense on the multifamily side, and also part of the Fuse Flooring Network on the commercial side, right?
That is correct. And hopefully we'll be able to add those locations into both of those affiliation networks, as we are all one company now. I appreciate those networks. I think they're great, both FEI and Fuse. Every time you go to the meetings, there's things you can learn, and there's great dealers that are there that run good businesses, and it's always a great way to pick up ideas and concepts on what you can do differently to be better.
So it looks like Flooring Partners was an employee-owned organization. Talk about how you plan to integrate them.
Well, like any integration, the most important thing, of course, is the people. Them having come from the ESOP background, they function very well. The integration is going to be a little bit of a slower process as we understand their systems, their processes, evaluate what's best for the company as a whole, evaluate how to put the organization together. So we'll go through that analysis and then start making appropriate changes where we can help each other. But the goal is always in any transition to make sure that we're utilizing the best of the best from each one of the entities to come out with a better organization.
Let's talk about this multifamily market since it's your biggest focus. We watched as investment kind of went down the last couple of years, but now occupancy's caught back up, and people are saying that we're going to start to see some more new construction in that area, right?
Correct. And, the prediction is that starting in 2026, we start to see a little more into 27. And I think the runway is very solid for the multifamily arena because there is a lack of housing nationwide. One thing that we haven't seen as much of a bounce back, at least in the areas we cover, is the typical multifamily turn work. That's still been a little sluggish. I think rental rates remain stubbornly high and ever increasing, and you're just not seeing the movement from apartment to apartment. but I do believe there's capacity for new construction, and we'll see some of that certainly pick up in the next couple years.
So you mentioned being part of the FEI group, and it's interesting that, Home Depot bought Ready, and then Lowe's bought ADG. So it looks like that the big home centers want to get into space in a big way, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And I certainly can understand their desire to do so. I think they're looking to move past just providing product and adding the service to it. I think adding the service to the product sale certainly helps you be a little bit stickier with customers and end users. In my opinion, that's maybe the goal and what they're leaning toward.
All right. So what's the next play with Rainier and SCI, you think?
At the moment, I think with the transitioning in Flooring Partners, it's going to be a bit of time while we evaluate the companies and put them together in the best manner possible to help us service our customers better and expand our reach from the Midwest out to the East Coast. Obviously, we'll be actively seeking acquisitions or looking at them if they make sense and they fit. So it's going to be continue as we have been doing to service our customers better and do a better job in all of our processes across the company.
You have all these brands in all these different locations. Is the plan to continue to stick with those local brands?
That's a good question and one we'll discuss. Kemp, as we've acquired, most of the companies we acquired previously, whether that was United, MC Flooring, Carpetbaggers, East Point, they had 30, 40 years worth of brand equity in the market. And we felt like that brand equity was very important because it gives you that local feel. So we did not go to one name or put them under the SCI umbrella. As we add Flooring Partners and we're up to 11 locations, it may make sense to start looking to combine under one name. But that's an evaluation we'll go through moving forward, and we'll make the determination at the time we feel like makes the most sense.
Okay, Dave. Well, thanks for spending time with our listeners and telling us what's going on with SCI Floor Covering. Again, been talking to Dave Elberson, the president and CEO, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.